See what it gave to us. Can you see the screen, please?
Yes, sir.
So this is what it has given to us. Now look at the vertices and the faces. A million counts. So the mesh is fine, but it's useless to us. Like, this is unusable. You might have to go and retopo this before you can use it. Any client you give this to will swear for you because it's fine, but it's useless to them. So you have to be careful about what is looking good. This is very important to have a polygon count. Most of us don't have like i7 that can run this. If you put some of this in a post computer, it will shut the computer down. So as much as this looks good, it is not a useful piece of mesh. Now let me show you what can be useful. Now you can look at, let's put this in mind. This is 1 million faces. We used to get this work done, right? 1 million faces. Now let me show you how to get something close to this quality, but still usable and in a decent amount of mesh. So now if we go back to triple up here, we did the high HD model, right? Let's go to smart mesh. Now in smart mesh, what smart mesh does is that it looks at your this and gives you optimized with topologized polygon mesh that is useful in your computer, that will not shut the computer down. Now it's not up to you to go and use baking of textures to get the quality to look as similar to this one as you can. And I'll show you how that is done today. So now I came here. The trick is, like I said, get all the images from different angles like we did earlier, your front view, your side view, and your back view. And then if you go to the smart mesh now, the options are different here. It's asking topology. I chose triangle. It doesn't do quad yet, but don't worry, the smart mesh will make it optimized. And then it's using the settings. The polygon count is 5,000. Because I'm trying not to, let's just push up to 8,000. Let's not be too greedy. And make it 8,000. So 8,000 now. So 8,000 polygon faces. I want it to be there, around there, or 10, maybe not past 10. Because if you're making a game, right, your polygon count, they have specific polygon count they're asking you for. No matter what you're doing, once it's above 20K or 30K polygon count, you have failed that project, because that's just character alone that is over 30K. If you not put back there, so what will not happen. The game will shut down. So you need to be careful. So now I chose 8K. I'm trying to keep this within 10K and see have good quality. So now I will now say we have everything else we need, and I'll say generate model. This one will be faster because it's giving me the optimized version of the mesh. Now you can see that it's not dense at that point that we saw earlier. And you guys see difference here. It's more, you can see the lines. That other one was dense like powder, like sugar. This one is just scanty, right? It's giving you an optimized polygon mesh. It will do its best to give you an optimized polygon count with the base shape of the character. It's done. Can you see it? Look at it. Can we see the screen? Are we seeing the screen here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the optimized mesh. Now, looking at it here, it doesn't look good, right? It doesn't look good at all. And if you check your vertex face count, the faces is 7,000. It's not up to 8K, right? So we have a good polygon mesh, decent enough for us to use in a game as your main character, and your system will not shut down. So this is a good place to start, right? Now, it doesn't have any textures. Now, if you look down here, you can see texture. You can texture it. Now, mind you, you can also do, it can give you free retries if you want to, but I like what I'm saying, so I don't want to retry it. I have enough details to work with and take to the next level. So what I will do now is I will just add the texture, click on texture. This texture, it will take 20 coins from me for the texture. Or you can simply come down here and choose texture, right? So I'll just choose texture here, go down here, and it will give me just the color. It won't give me normal map. It won't give me a metallic map. It won't give me, what they call it, ambient occlusion. It won't give me all those things. That is where our next stage, texturing, will come in. Now, the traditional way of making these kind of things is that you're going to model your character, go to Blender, we're going to do our texturing, go to Substance Painter. The point is that Substance Painter is not free. You understand? I have to be careful because anytime we're making something we want to share in the public and we're using crack software, you're already limiting yourself. Because if you have to not, they say, interview you, maybe 80 levels, or CNN say interview you, talk about software you use, I don't want to interview you now. You cannot talk about what you use. Your work is discredited because of you actually stole. So for me, the difference of paying for AI platform and cracking software spender, I will rather pay for AI tool and texture. At least I can show what I use than for me to use Blender, or for me to go and be cracking software, I cannot tell people. We have a lot of software painter experts that cannot tell you that they're texture experts because they know they're cracking softwares. And it's limiting our space, it's limiting us to show our skills. So we need to start moving to things we can pay for, we can afford, and then so we can boast of our work publicly and not be ashamed that we cracked it. So that's one of my philosophies. I don't like cracking softwares. It's because of, not because I'm a saint, but because of it. I cannot show my work in public. And if I can't show my work, I cannot get a job. Sure, you get, like, we need to get a job. Now, your portfolio, put your portfolio out there. It's very serious for white people. They don't like when you're cracking softwares. I don't want that woman being the thing that posts aside my Gary because I crack software spender. So now it has given me the character now. That's what it gave us. Can you see? Can we see what it gave us? See, look at the screen, please. Are we seeing? Can we see, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, this is the low poly version of that same character we did. Look at it. Optimize, and yet you can hardly tell the difference in a game, right? So, why this is necessary is because you are doing LOD, for example, in a game, something called LOD. When the character is close to the screen, the most highest amount of polygon count is the one that will show. But as the character is moving far from the screen, the lowest polygon count, this is one that will probably show when the character is far from the screen. When it's far away, they cannot tell the detail, right? So if you want to make all this before, that would have taken a long time to topo for every stage of LOD. But now, because of tools like this, you can keep the polygon count we want, and then now decide the LOD, make all the LODs you need between. Sorry, this mic is on. Can you mute your mic? Somebody's mic is on. Can we mute it, please? Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Okay, let's go back to what we're doing. So this is the LOD version. Now, I won't lie to you, it still doesn't look as realistic. Let me show you. When we put on this one that's high fidelity, you see how someone was shining. Can you see what's happening? Shining is reflective, you know. That one is not shining like that because it doesn't have normal, doesn't have metallic, it doesn't have reflection. Now we can add that ourselves. That's not the problem. I will show you a platform where we can add those things and give you that realism and still have our low polygon count. So let's download now. Now that we're done, we're going to download this, right? Let's download this asset. So we're going to go to download it. We're going to click export here. Now, Chipo has a plugin that can help you bring your work into your Blender. I don't like all that. I'm okay with importing my FBX because there's nothing too heavy for me to do. So I'm going to open that export. I'm going to show, it's going to show me some options, name of my model. I would like to name this, add low poly at the end. Low poly. So we can see, right? And then I'll change it to FBX. I prefer FBX because FBX doesn't have the textures embedded. And then everything else. Now you can see it's giving you 4K, 2K, 1K. Now I will advise you, if you're a game developer here, nothing concerning you with 4K. Your only job is to focus on 2K downwards because 4K is enough to shut your game down. Use 2K and 1K. 2K for your main character, 1K for your enemies. So that's fine. So that's an advice I'll give to you. I adhere strictly to that kind of advice. So 2K, please, for game characters. 4K for the one you want to showcase to your friend that you can model. That is useless to you. You can't use it in your animation. You can't use it in your game. That one, I want to show it on your ArtStation page as exposing. 4K is fine. But what you're going to use inside game or to animate, please stay on 2K. Except you have like a server, Disney level computer to render in your house. If you don't have that, please stay on 2K. It's still good enough. So now once we've gotten that, I'm going to say export. It's going to give me a zip file that contains my low poly of my character with its textures. So come on to the next thing. So it's opening that up. And I'm going to do this. Close this. Then I want to download also the high poly so we can compare both of them in Blender so you can see both of them side by side and understand what we're trying to do. I'm going to also download this and I'm not going to name it. So go to FBX and I'm going to leave it at 4K or 2K. Let me look at 2K. Okay, I will export. Okay, I export it. Download that too. Now, if you notice, that one, the low poly one was like 1 MB. I want almost under 2 MB. This high poly one will probably be like 40 something MB or 20 something MB. So if you're making a mobile game with it, whatever you put in your game is already has 20 something MB. Your game will start with 20 something MB. You understand? So these are the things optimization like this is very important for us to take into account when we talk about art for animation or art for game. And I say someone let's look at it now, 53 MB. for the high poly one. These are the things we need to start worrying about. These are the things that we're still lacking, that we don't take seriously, that affect our products. And we know that we don't have the best hardware in the world right now. We're just starting. So please be very, very economical with how you go about making your art. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice on quality, but there are ways to get high quality and still maintain optimization. So now I've gotten the 2 asset files. I'm going to take them, let's move them to Blender and look at them, right? I'm going to open Blender 5. I love Blender 5 because it feels very, I don't know, I'm used to it now. The Blender 5, so I'm going to use to check the file. So any questions while I'm loading up Blender and importing the assets we just created? So any questions, feel free to ask, please. So let's start. I'm going to clear the stage for this. The stage. It. Now let me go to my zip files where I downloaded to notes and go to compressed. Now these are the 2 robots. I'm going to bring them to my downloads here. Create a new folder and call it characters. Characters. Feel free to ask any question. This is not a teacher-student thing. This is a community gisting base here. So we're not doing no order here. We're just trying to learn and share knowledge here. So I'm going to extract both of them because they're in zip files so that we can access them. So let me remind you, we have both the high poly and low poly here, and we're going to take them to the next level. We want to first look at them in Blender before we can now do the next level of texture baking and tweaking to make everything better. So let's go and drag this one. So open the high poly first. This one, I'm going to drag this to my Blender and drop it in here. It's going to take a while to load up. So this is the high poly one. Look at the details. Let me move it to the side so you can see. And then I will go in to get the low poly. And I will drop it in to import. So now you can see low poly and the high poly. This is the difference, right? You can see clearly the difference of both assets. So, and if I honor my statistics, come here on statistics, we can see exactly what's happening. So if I select my character, the first one I'm selecting here is 7K, right? But if I select the other one here, the high poly, it is 1 million polygons. And they're the same assets, right? So now let me first, let me flip them to face forward. You got the minus 90, then for some reason, Triple likes to bring it facing the x-axis. I don't know why. Now, when you're looking at it at this level, right, there's a huge difference. One is looking more detailed, one is not looking very detailed, right? Most of your game characters, if you remove the textures, they look like this, a bar. You guys a bar on the right, right? But the trick is they use something called PBR, physical-based rendering textures, to simulate realism. So let me show you. So let me go to texture and look at it now. Now, when we look at it in texture mode, you can't really tell different. Apart from that, this one has more reflection, which you can fix in a minute. And this one has just color map. This one has only color map. This one has the PBR treatment. That's the reason why this one looks a bit more realistic. If we select it and we go to shading in Blender, let's come here. You can see this one only has the principal BSDF and image texture. If I select the other one, it has everything, image texture for color, roughness, metallic, normal map, right? So that means we need to add normal map for this one. We need to add normal map for the low poly one to give it that extra realism in-game, so it can bounce light and feel metallic and have the weight of looking a bit realistic. Now, normally you would choose Substance Beta, or I will bake high poly from this one to low poly if I'm using Blender. All these ones are techniques that we already know, that are already existing, right? But there's a cheaper technique, there's more fun that I recently found. I want to share with you guys, right? I'm not here to teach you what you already know. Let's show you something you don't know, because I know a lot of people know this one. So now I'm going to go to a platform called, to use a platform called Modif. Now Modif is, let me show you. Modif. Now Modif is a AI texturing platform, right? People say it has a lot of Source Painter kind of style in it, right? So it's not like it's new out there. But for me, it's more affordable and it's more friendlier to use, right? I'm not using Source Painter because I don't want to crack it and I don't want to learn something, because Source Painter is one of the best out there. I don't want to learn something that I cannot pay for and then I'll be stuck using it when I cannot pay for it. So I was looking for an option. I used to use something called Uchu Paint. Uchu Paint is really good, but it's tedious and has a learning curve. Then that has a baking of high poly textures to low poly, normal map, and the rest. It's a bit mind-bending, but this one feels more easier to use. So as I'm introducing that to all, because most of us, our company is so small, we don't have dedicated texture artists. So that is why we have to be able to grab a bit of small here and there. Now, when you come here to this place, there's a free version. It's free, unlimited. You can texture unlimited for the free version. Go and use it. The free version is there. But I am using Pro because of that. For a feature I will show you about later. But there's the free version. Go and use the free version. It's unlimitedly free. Don't worry. I'll put a link in the video when I post the video for you. The links of all these platforms using. So this one is free. You can, if you are using the free version, you can only make a public one. You can make a private one. So for me, that I'm making something I don't want people to see. I'll use the private mode. That's part of what you get when you're paying for it. But what I'm making is public. There's nothing to hide. So let me just open it. And let's start this, right? So yeah, once you open it, you're going to have this interface. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it. On the top, you will see a few tabs that are a bit complicated to. I have to explain them as I'm bringing assets in. At the bottom too, I will explain all the bottom assets as I'm bringing in. But on the left and right, we have two layer holding tabs. So on the left, we have where the 3D assets will be held, right? And also for texturing and angle generations. And on the right, you will see layers of the texturing. It's very easy to get. It's not complicated, very straightforward. Once you open the screen, it's going to ask you to import your 3D assets. So I'm going to click on import. I'm going to navigate to where my 3D asset is. With characters, I'm looking for the low poly one. Come in here. I'm going to bring it in, import it in, import it, right? So this is it. I brought it in. So this is it. I brought the low poly one in, right? Then it's asking me to bring my reference image. Reference image are those images that we used to generate it. Remember those images we put in Triple to generate it that we did in Nano Banana. I'm going to bring them in. So I'm going to come here, click on this. On the right here, to the bottom right, you can see reference here, viewport, perspective. There's some material options, and then under it, it's a reference image, no images, right? There's a plus at the right here. Click on that plus, and then you can come in here and bring any reference image you want. Our reference image is in the downloads folder we left, where we got those images that we put in Triple to make our 3D character. So we'll go and borrow them now. So let me come here. And I'll start with the front view. This is on the front view we use. This is the front view. I'm going to open it. Here, I'm saying import as reference image, right? You can go ahead and add as many reference images as you want. I like to add my front view, back view, side view to just get a more accurate painting of what I want. So let me just add them to come here. I will come back here and look for the other images we used that was part of it. So we've got in the front view. I'll look for the back view. Which one we choose? Not this one. We chose the Rockets one, this one. So bring this one in, import as reference image. I'll go here. I'm going to get the side view. So as many as you want, you can have only back and front view. It's still very fine. The software can help you interpolate between different views. So now I'm looking for this view. Then bring it in, and then one more view for the left view, for the gun side, so that we get this one. This one now. Yes. So how about the relevant view that we created, right? And then on the top now, you can see it's saying switch to texture view to edit mode. For you to start editing texture, you have to switch to that view and then go to that view, this one. Once we come here, it's going to give you instructions. But now we're here in this view now. Like you can see the interface has changed, right? The interface has changed because now on the left, we have our reference images, right? And in the middle, we have our 3D assets, and then on the right now we have our layers. all we have to do is add one. You go to add a layer. It's currently showing 4K. I don't want 4K. I want it to be 2K. So like I said, I want 2K. So I want it to be 2K. I don't want 4K. So 2K is enough for me. If I want to use it in a game, I don't want it to be hanging my game. So now I'll switch to 2K, and then I will click on new layer. Click on new layer. Your image will go to this kind of mode where you see the stripes. These stripes only show that you are ready to texture your image right now. Now this is the fun part where we'll do the fun part. I like to, when you click on this right now and you generate, click on the front view and click on generate. It will generate an image, right, of what we want to texture it. This is not what we want. It's still generating. We don't want this. We don't want. So let's regenerate again. I don't like this. We need to get the original one we did earlier. It's not what we did earlier, so let's wait for it to give us what we want. I don't know why it's showing me this particular stuff. Why is it showing me this? It's not image we had earlier. Let's see.
This modif, is it like tripod that takes credits, or you're free to do as many as you can?
So you're free, no credit involved. Just do as many as you can. No credit involved. Doesn't use credit. You can just keep doing unlimited years. No credits.
Yeah. Okay.
So for some reason, it's not giving me the texture of the image that I was supposed to generate. Okay, it's getting it. It's beginning to work now. I don't know what's happening to. So yeah, so it gave me the front image of what I was looking for like this. Let me try the front, back to the front. But for when I did the front image, it was behaving funny. Let me try it again. Maybe there was an error. So any view you generate, it can now use that to anticipate. If I turn my character, it will use that image to anticipate what the character, how the image should be. So look at it now. Now, if you see this image now, we have in this mode, if I paint, I'll be painting with the light and shadow, which we don't want. We want the light and shadow of our 3D software to affect our character. We don't want to paint big lighting into it on the character body. So for that, if you come down here, you see under the visible where the image was generated, you see that this settings icon here under upscale. Click on it, you will see this mode, this thing here. It's showing realistic and albedo. We want it to be albedo. In realistic, it's calculating light information for you. We don't want that. We want just the flat image as it is. Unreal Engine or Blender will help us calculate the light, and we'll do light in there. Now you can see that's giving us a flat color. Can you see our texture now? The flat one. Now with this one, now what I can do now is I will, once I've gotten this one now, if I go up here, I'll have to just click on this plus here and tap this plus, and automatically it will slap that texture on the front of the character. Now I'll go to my side view. You can see side view now. There's no texture here. We have stripe, right? I will go ahead. I can use this front. I can go to this side view now and say generate this side view, and it will go ahead and create that side view for me that matches this reference. Look at it here. And then I'll click on that plus again, add as layer. And I have never seen any texturing as fun and as easy as this kind of texturing before, right? So this is why I said of all the options I've seen, this is the thing that the AI is doing differently for us. Substance Beta is really good. Why don't think Substance Beta has this feature, right? I mean, I'm more in a hurry to get to making my game than I want to stay making characters. So I look for things that speed up my character workflow. You understand? Now, if you're someone that likes just making character alone, this is also a bonus for you. You can stay your character. But me, because of I want to hurry to get a character into Blender or Unreal Engine or Unity. I look for things that will make my work as character designer faster. And this is one of those tools. So I click on this plus tool to give me this. You just keep going around and let me see. I want to see the back view here. Keep going around and looking for all the angles that are still not having anything there and generating those angles. Now you see for me and now, because I use the back view, you see why it's good to have all the angles. When I use the back view, it changed the color of this robot. Now, if you remember the robot gun was not yellow. You remember that? So I don't want that here. This is wrong. So I'll go to the proper one side view I have here and generate that one instead. That's why it's good to have all the angles because you want to be consistent. So before you say AI, people say AI is not consistent. So consistency is in the hand of the user. You have to have your eye out there to get the detail you want. Now look at I've gotten the color of the gun and I will stick to that instead. Now I'll use this. Now I've gotten the gun color for me. I can go ahead and do this and also generate. So you can see me keep going around and I'm almost done, but just gisting. We're almost done with the texturing like that, just like that. Now, this is not the fun part. The fun part is still coming. So let me show you. Let's now add this texture. So you just go around continuously till you get every part of the asset completely covered so that you can be done with what you're trying to achieve, right? You're trying to achieve. So this one, I came here now. So keep going around. Anywhere you see those holes, you can go ahead and generate and then try to cover them as much as possible. You can even go in and fix any error you don't like. Some places that don't look exactly. I will show you how to do that. And do this. So click on this. So I'm trying my best to cover some holes. You will not get all the holes, right? You not get all the holes, but there's a feature to help you block all the holes that are so tiny. So you don't spend too much time looking for under the leg everywhere. So cutting on my arm. So it's why all the angles are very important so we can stay true to exactly what we're trying to make. This back here, I think this one, I'll use this. Let me see if this will work for us, or I'll just use the back view. So do this. Let me see. I don't want it to change. Okay, he tried. He got something close to that. So I'm going to click it now. Go back. So let's say this is what we want now. So many holes under here that we cannot cover. We don't know what under here is. Let me see if I can generate under here, and so we can come under here like this, and I'll generate from the front view and see how it use that front view to approximate under it and give me something decent. I can use that one to cover under it. So look at it. So we can see how we have just finished texturing a character in a few minutes. Now, this is not like I said, this is not the main thing that blew my mind about all these tools I'm showing you guys now, right? But what blew my mind is the fact that, let's say let's not spend money, this is okay. Let's say this is fine. Okay, for the back view, let me just cover this back view. Do this place is here. Before we now do the final whole blocking part. And yes, it is. So now, let's say there's so many tiny holes we cannot find, right? If we don't want to waste our time with that, what we can do is look at on the top right here, you see fill missing areas. Can you see top right here where the layers are? There are some icons there, but there's not like a paint bucket. I click on it, every other hole that is there to cover it, both what I can see, what I can see. So any tiny hole you want to spend your time looking for, fill missing areas to cover it for you. So we have our low poly character. This is nothing new. We already had this in the triple, right? Where this thing starts to blow your mind is ability to paint normal map. So now I'm going to go to my normal map. So we have normal map is what gives you details. The details we're looking for is a normal map. So after the 2K texture part, right? The next one on the top tab, can you see top tab here? There's a place where 2K textures. Beside this is called normal map. If I click on that, it's going to change. I don't want 4K. It's going to change this to this mode, right? And in this mode now, it's asking me, it's going to use the textures on the body to generate the normal map. Now on the right now, you have a normal map. What do you call it? If you're using the free version, your normal map will be limited to 10. Every week you have 10 chances for a normal map. But because I'm using the paid version, it's unlimited for me. But that's the only thing that's limited in the paid version. In the free version, the only thing that's limited is your normal map painting, right? So you can open like 5 email accounts if that's what will help you and be changing to use all your weekly listing. But because normal map and details, I paid for it. So now, once I just come to this front, all I have to just click on generate. Now it will generate based on the texture to come up with a normal map that is suitable. But it's all these details now. This is the trick that you're using now to deceive you in a game that character has details. Now, if I begin to now paint, I'll click on this in paints here. Let me click the brush, open the brush, close this. Now, when I paint over this character, can you see what's happening? Details start to appear. Normal map begins to add the details that will now fit the realism. Don't know why this thing does the same. Once it goes off, it will be behaving like rat. So let me come back here. You can go back here. Sorry. Let me generate it again. Sometimes it just flips. It will not let me paint again. I can paint the rest. Look at it. So you can see how we're getting our details now on a low poly mesh. We can now paint our details on this low poly mesh, and we don't have to increase our polygon counts. So this is how you can deceive your players that you have high poly mesh. Yeah, this character is high poly, but the game is running smoothly. They're using PBR normal map to cheat their way through, and it's not a crime. Every big studio uses this feature, right? And you could do that in Substance Painter, right? I'm not saying that this is the importance of it, right? So when you're doing a low poly to high poly, you have to understand that the normal map is the most important thing that you need, especially when you're using a low poly character, a low poly object in a game. So you can get out the many details that you don't want to sacrifice these things for your mesh, your what do you call it, polygon count for. You can use the normal map to switch it out. So just that's just one of the things I love about this particular tool. Being able to paint my normal map like this. And I would like to, I'm not Substance Painter, so I don't know Substance Painter's method. But for me, this is how Substance Painter was doing it, then it's one of the best softwares in the world, because if you're a one-man team, you need to, or a small team, you need to find tools that speed up your workflow. We can't spend 3 days making one character. A game has at least five characters. You can't spend and other assets for environments. So yeah, so let me just quickly generate this and paint. So these are the ways I'm using AI to, I feel like that will save us small studios, give us a chance to be able to create quickly, and you're still an artist, you're still doing the work. The AI, this is not a one button, nobody click one button and they just got all these things to start saying for you. You are still the one that will have to identify, paint the mesh, decide the images you choose, the design process, the design direction. Is you that will choose it. It's all up to you. If I didn't paint this map on this thing now, I will still be suffering this. Right? So let me just quickly paint this so we can get back to Blender and use that normal map to inform. Now we have a normal map, right? All I have to do now is, let me come under here and get this normal map. All I have to do now is take this normal map back to my Blender and add this to my Blender character to kind of beef up the realism. So, all right, so now, if you are done with this, let's rename this to robots mech, right? Now we have a robot mech, right? The next thing is download this normal. To download the normal map, you can choose to download the whole FBX if you want. That will come with normal map and everything. But I already have the character in my Blender already. I just need normal map and I have the texture in there. And I just need normal map and the texture. So I'll just come here while I'm in normal mode, come down to click on this arrow here, come down here, and I'll choose normal map. And it opens up for me here. Right click, I will save it, and then I will go to my downloads. So there's the character folder. Need that folder, okay, characters, and then low poly, and I'll call this. Let me call this. Sorry, and I'll save this as my robot underscore normal underscore map. Can we see that? So I've downloaded this. Now I'm going to close this and I'm going to go back to my here, and I'm going to switch back to my texture here, right? And here it's showing flat. You can see our normal map. If I switch to PBR, now I can see looking a bit more detailed, right? It's looking a bit more better. And I can go ahead and download the image texture. Texture image. This is it. Right click, save. Now call it robots color map. Now, if we're doing this traditional way, we know by now we'll see the modeling character. And it's not a crime. I'm just saying that, like, we know our sector, right? We know where we are, and we're trying to speed up our workflow. So let me now minimize this. Let's go back to Blender. Now we're in Blender here, right? Let's go and replace the textures we had with the ones we created in Modif. I'm going to go to my shading. I'm going to select my low poly character, and then I'm going to open up. Yeah, this is it. So first things first, I'm going to add the normal map. So my blender, drop it in here, zoom in, shader nodes. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to do shader 101, please. I'm not really sure. This is just, I'm going to just plug it in. So I'm here now, so I'm going to plug it in, my character. So watch the character here when I plug it in, right? So I'm going to just, but to plug your normal map, you can just plug it directly. You have to have an in-between node, and that's the normal map, this one here. But there's something that happens when I connect it. The node mistakenly connects to the strength instead of connect color to color. So please connect color to color. You must be connected color to color, or else you will not see your normal map details. Then connect your normal map to the normal map. Now, with that, the character can begin to have decent amount of details, right? Let me remove it so you can see. Look at it. When I move it, can you see the character? When I plug it back, and it shows. And I can even control the strength of normals to see. One more thing I need to understand: normal map does not do color RGB space for your normal map. Color space for normal map is supposed to it's not RGB, it is non-color to get a proper normal map. So please make sure you have that too. And then we can increase the strength to boost our normal map if that's what you do, to boost the effect of normal map if that's what it's okay. But I think 1 is okay for us, just 1.5 maybe. Right, and then we have our normal map of details on our character. Now, in game, when somebody comes to your character, it feels like the details they can touch it, it feels like there's a bump, they feel like the details in the game of the character. We can also add metallic map. You want to add metallic map for your character so it has reflection and everything. That one is very straightforward. You want to add that. We can either come here and increase the roughness down to 0 to make it, but this is a very ineffective way because if you notice something, the wrapper, this on the neck here is not supposed to be reflective, right? It's cloth, so we need to have a proper, like what do you call it, reflection map created, and that's very simple. We can create that from the color map. So to do that is very simple. If you want to make a color map, very simple. We can even increase our metallic and see if it gives it a bit of metallic feel. But we can also do that with the map if you want to use the map. To create a map like that, that map is very straightforward. So let's just create one of the maps so you see what I'm talking about. If I want to create the metallic map for this, I will have to use the color map. We have to use something like Photoshop or GIMP or whatever photo editor you need to have to make your, what do you call it, metallic and roughness map. I use Photopea. Like I said, I rather use something that is free or the one I can pay for. I don't want to be cracking software again because I want when 80 levels is interviewing me, I can talk with my full chest. So yeah, so let me just quickly show you how to do that. And I will quickly use the color map. I'm going to drag that into my Photopea and dump it here. Loading, I think. Why did it didn't load? Okay, I think that's a better. Do it again. Let's drag it here. Okay, so this is Photopea now. So in Photopea, I brought my asset in here. What I want to do is I need to select all the metal parts, which is like all the robot. The whole robot is metal, but I feel like we have to select some parts of the metallic map of the robots to create a kind of reflection, right? And the best way to create reflection is metallic roughness map is mostly a gray map on a white background. And what they call it, the metallic map is always a white map on a black background. You understand? So you need to have that idea for Blender to use that to create a both metallic map and roughness map. So how I do that is simple. I use something called selection. So let me do selection filter. I will come in here, go to select, and I'll choose color range. Color range is what I use to select what I'm looking for. So I'm going to zoom in and choose where I want to select. So let's say the yellow part, I want the yellow parts to all be reflective more than the gray parts, right? So I will come in here, I will just choose the yellow parts. You can see that when I choose that, all the parts in this black place become highlighted, right? And I can, but sometimes you might not get all of them. So choose the plus, so you can keep adding to that just to get more of the yellow if the yellow parts, if sometimes you want some parts to shine, because if you see, notice the robot has some old rusted parts. Rusted parts don't shine, but yellow parts, let's say yellow parts are still shining. So let's say we want all yellow parts to shine. Select all of them like this, and then click on OK. And it will create a selection for you, right? Like this. Selection for you like this. That selection now, I feel like it didn't get me the selection I wanted, so I want to do it again. Let's do it again. I feel like it didn't take enough now. Let's do select once more, color range. I will zoom in, right? And I'll go to replace and choose yellow. Then I add the plus and begin to choose more yellow, deeper yellow. Let's get as much shade of yellow as we can get, so that most part of the robot that is yellow will be reflective. So let's say this is better. There's more let me zoom out. Now all I have to do is I will create a new layer. This photo piece like Photoshop, by the way, is just free in the cloud, right? Without internet, but the sad thing is that without internet you cannot use it. So be careful. So that now I'm putting a new layer, then I'm now going to change to white, right? And I'll choose my paint and I will dump this here. So now all those patches that I selected are now covered with white. Those are the parts I want to be affected by the reflection metal map and roughness map. Then for metallic map, pure white. For roughness map, gray. So I'm going to choose this and make it gray. And then I'm going to say okay. And then we're going to make a new layer and then dump the gray one to there. So how about two maps, right? What that remains now is for me to put a black background for the metallic and a white background for the roughness. So for the black, for the metallic, I'll do new layer, paint, black, and then I'll make another new layer, make it white, and then make another new layer, yes, and then do white. So now we have everything complete. First things first, I'm going to save this one. This is for the roughness. Export PNG. I'm going to save it and call it roughness map. Roughness. If you have any questions, you can ask now because we're almost rounding up. Then we can touch animation and go quickly. So this is roughness map. I told you roughness map is white, gray on white background, but for metallic you need white on black background. So yes, now click on export and then should the same thing rename this on to metallic and enter. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Quick question.
Yeah.
Why? Sorry. Since you've already done the high poly mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think this might be a stretch. I think I see the error, but let me ask anyway. Since you've already done the high poly mesh, why not use the texture map, the high poly mesh in terms of the metallic and then the roughness, and then slap it onto the normal, the low poly mesh?
Okay, so sometimes triple, when triple generates a high poly mesh and generates low poly mesh, it will UV unwrap it differently. You understand? The UV unwrap pattern will be different. So if I slap that high poly texture on low poly, it will not stay, it will not look good because they're not using the same UV map. You understand? Now there's a way to fix that. But so except if you retopo from the high poly, you might be able to lift the UV map to it. But I realized that when I tried to do that one, the map is crazy because they use two different UV map unwrapping, and that's another issue on its own. So the best thing is to use modif. So there's a way you can do it, or we can still fix it, but I don't have to. I'm going to show that pattern too now if you consider. So now we have our two map, by the way. Let me move it to our folder, and then I'm going to drop it in this. So we have our three map, complete map now. So what I want to do is I'm going to now use them to enhance the robots, right? Let me move them to, let's come in, move this one here. So now we have in our current Blender project, we have color map and we have normal map, but we don't have roughness and metallic map. So we just created that one. Hold on, excuse me. All right, sorry. So now those maps I created, let us see the difference to make for our character. I'm going to come in, where's that something like that? Very close. Oh, wow. Okay, so I didn't close this here. So now I'm going to drag the metallic map. I told you white on black is metallic. So I'm going to drag it here. And I'm going to connect it to my metallic. Now, immediately I connect it, can you see a bit of, you see what happened? So because I didn't get everywhere, I didn't get the whole body to have to, I didn't get the whole body to, I didn't set the whole body. I have that issue where I miss some part of it that is shiny and one part that is not shiny, right? You understand? And that's, for me, is okay because we're trying to create this, that the robot is one, is not completely new, right? Some parts are shiny, some parts are not shiny. So let's just leave that one like that. If you want, you can still go back and expand the selection to cover all the other parts you didn't select, also that part I didn't select, and leave the rough parts to not be shiny, right? So that one is that one. So then let me add the roughness map. And I can now bring the roughness, it's white on gray, right? Let's do that. So I'll connect that one too now. Drag color to roughness. And this one gives it. Can you see what's happening now? All the parts that were selected are shinier now, right? So imagine if I had the whole body. I could put the whole body. I did it for the whole body. I'll be able to do that. So if I wanted to achieve the whole body to be shiny, let's say I want the whole body to be shiny, all I have to do is go back to this place here, right? Not select this one. I won't select this one. Let me see. What I will do is I would open this one up, right? And I would select every single mesh here, right? And I would, instead of it, make this one white, paint bucket. So let me use paint bucket, make it white, and then add another window, and then make it gray. So now we want the whole body to be shiny at once. So now I will now select these two. Let me select them. I'll move these two above the black and white layers, right? And for the first one, for the gray, I'll put on white and I will export it. I'll say PNG roughness V2 or version 2, right? Save it. And I will put up this one and turn on this one and then turn on this and turn this. Now this is for metallic. And I'll call this PNG metallic V2 and save it. Now I'll move those two textures to, I'm coming, go to my downloads. These two, copy them. And I will move them to here. Paste them here. Let's use them. Let's see the difference now. I'll remove these two textures I added. These two textures I just added. Let's remove both of them. Let's replace them with the new ones we created that covers the whole body. So the first one is the metallic. Where is it? Oh wow. Okay, this is it. This is metallic. Then I'll connect metallic to metallic, right? And then I will bring the roughness in. And I will do roughness to, sorry, like roughness here. So you can see that it's not even like that's why I felt like figuring this part out, the 3D part AI out. It's not an exact science. There's no, so can you see what's happening? Can we see it's now more shiny, right? The whole body is shiny now, right? That's the issue with this part. That's why I want to select it. I want to select only the yellow ones and make it less shiny. And we can add value. So let me say Shift A, and I will choose say value. Oh, come on, what's this? Say drop it here. So let me see. Okay, so let me see if we can control the amount of shininess with this. So can you see? So you can begin to now, but for me, what I would do is I would take my time and select all the yellow parts of it because I want it to be, I want it to be less, I don't want it to be like super, I don't want the whole part, I don't want the rusted part to be shining. If I had more time, I will select all the yellow part myself manually so I can control the exact space are reflective or not. Like so that all the whole body is reflective. Now, for your question, if you wanted to do the old way, we would have had to retopo this character. And I promise you, if you retopo this character, you're not going to get 7K. You're going to get like at least 19K polygon counts alone for the character. And that one is still a lot of work. You're not going to have to bake normals to map. And because of we're eating a lot into our time, I would have done that. Maybe for next class we'll do that. But this will be the fastest workflow I can say for us to create all our map and another map and have characters that we can use that are usable in-game and almost can pass as high poly while you are I'm targeting like mobile platforms, right? And that so that's that. So if you're done with this, I can move this to Mixamo, right? To rig it and animate it. We're all not new to that part. But where I want to show you, the last I want to show you guys before we go home is something NVIDIA just dropped. NVIDIA dropped something called Kimodo. How many of us have heard of Kimodo?
Yes.
I've heard of Kimodo.
Yes.
You've heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I saw it. I think I saw it on their website.
Yeah, so Kimodo, man. So what that is, why I love Kimodo is that Kimodo is a text to you type your text to get your prompt, what you're looking for, right? The only issue I have is that like before you have gone online, right? Without like Mixamo, without internet, you can use Mixamo. But with Kimodo, without it's on your system, and you can type text to get your animation. Let me show you what it is. So you don't have to install it. I'll share a link of how we install the video to the groups. If anybody wants, let me know, and I'll share the link of how to get Kimodo. But let me show you Kimodo as it is. Let's talk about Kimodo. So Kimodo, I'll go to my gig. So this is Kimodo here. So my system is locally installed. I'll run it, and it will go ahead and start. It will start its server on your system. So you have it on your system. You don't have to go anywhere else. You have to go and grab everything you need to run it is on your system. And it's been trained by motion capture data by NVIDIA. And what it does is that they've gathered all the motion capture data. Now you can type anything you want, and the software will do its best to recreate it for you. And you can now export that motion into Blender and use it to drive your character. You don't have enough time. I would have completely show you transfer, but I can do a video about that later or can do another class. So once it runs this thing for you on this screen, it will give you this link, HTTPS localhost. Select it and type and say Ctrl+C on your keyboard. Right? Select it, Ctrl+C, and then you go to your browser. In your browser, open a new page or wherever you want to go to, and then you can, let me say, ChatGPT, and then I will paste and type enter. It will load up Kimodo for you, right? It will load up this screen, show you instructions, but not what this instruction you can see it in the system. I'll show you how to find it. And this is the white screen, but I prefer the black screen Kimodo. Those instructions are popped up. In case you need it, just come to the side here, the tab on your right, you see it. So you can go through everything it takes to use the tool, right? Once it is installed, it's not even big. I think it's not up to 1 gig or 3 gig, I don't know. So this is it. So what it does is that if I type something here, let me say I type a person crawling forward. Tap enter, and then I'll come down here and click on generate. Come down here. See the generate here, click on it, and it will run through it very fast. If you have, you must, but one thing I will tell you about this, all these things on your system, like any generative thing you want to install on your system, like Comfy UI or Kimodo, you must have at least 8 gig graphics card. This one runs with 6 gig. The Kimodo runs on 6 gig. so you don't have a problem. Even Trellis runs on 6 gig, so you don't have a problem. But please at least have 8 gig, because if you are doing Trellis, you might want to open another software, you might want to do other things, you want to play film while it's doing its work, right? So please have 8 gig minimum of graphics card to enjoy yourself. So look at it. I've typed the prompt and look at it. That's giving me this guy here, right? And then if I go ahead and play the animation now, let it finish. That's what it is. Can you see? Anytime I prompt, can we see my screen? Anytime I prompt, this character can do for us. I can go ahead and add more. So you can go ahead at the end here. Like I said, I want to add another one here. And then I will say, okay, let me come. I'll say, then stands up, right? The person walks forward. So let me just leave that person walks forward. Please, when you're prompting with this key model, start with a person. So that's what was trained with. But they will say advanced later. And then I can also go back to the beginning of this one. Let's go back to the beginning once more. And I will generate. Why may I like it is that sometimes it's not all the emotions you can find in Mixamo. Sometimes there's some things you want to describe to yourself that you want your character to do. And this crawling character is not in Mixamo. It's not in Mixamo. I don't think I've seen the Mixamo, right? So being able to combine the Mixamo and being able to prompt what you want and then tell it and then move it to your character is very, very crucial. For me, I think it's a game changer. This is the first version of it. And I know that by the time they get up to version 2, this thing will be, and it's free forever. You're not paying anything for it. It's a free tool. Just have to have what they call it, 8 gig graphics card. So now, once it finishes, I'll play it. Now let's see what happens to combine two motions. I've combined two prompts, and you notice the first one was crawling forward, the second one was walking forward. Let's play and see what happens how it combines it. So let's see what to do when you get it. To keep on crawling. Keep crawling. So I think what we'll do here is this. So if let me see, I think I shall put stand up. So let me see the person standing. And then let's regenerate, right? And if that's not enough, you can also go and use something called constraints to manipulate your character to change position. You understand? And it will work for you. It will make changes for you. I will show you how that one works too. I've been playing with it and it's really, really cool. Just because we're lacking a lot of time, I want us to end this thing quickly. But if not, I can dedicate a class later for us to explore Kimodo and how to bring your character to life from within your system using AI generated workflows and then bring these things into game. For example, I exported this thing into Blender and it was very fun. Only that for you to move the motion to the character, you need to have Rococo plugin. That's the plugin it uses to what they call it to transfer motion because it exports as BBH and MPs or something like that, right? So okay, so I think here what we have to do is this. Let me delete this. So I think when we get here, what we need to do when we get here is here. I can come here and do constraints, right? Click on enter edit mode. Now once you enter edit mode, to give you this, you can now come in here, right? So in this edit mode now, I can change my character's posture. So let me say I come in here to this. Let's do right. Then let me move the leg forward. Then let's do the same thing for this one. So you can just change the position, and then you change the position, you can begin to let's just do some minor changing of position. Let's see what happens. Then go to the neck, make it face forward. So anybody think that AI is just, if you click one button, everything will just start working for you. You can see the struggle we are struggling now. It's not a walk in the park. None of these tools, it still requires you as an artist to play around with it. Like go ahead and use your creativity to achieve what you're trying to do, right? If you don't have any expertise using like tools like Blender, you probably will struggle with this, right? So let's say this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to get here and then stand up, right? Then once I've done that, what I will do is carry it up, go to the ground. Now what I will do is, for me, I'll just come and add this point here. Left click, left click, left click. That's all the points, right, that you changed. And then we'll go back to the beginning, and then we'll say, we'll regenerate. Let me see. So exit edit mode, and then you generate. You generate now again. The problem is going to because right now it doesn't know when it gets, it doesn't know to stand up or do what, change what you want to do. So when it regenerates again, it will not add this new change you added to it. And when it gets to the front here, it will probably stand up and do whatever I told it to do here. Whatever this thing it did. This is just an example, right? But if you spend more time with it, you will get like perfect, really, really good results. It's really just new. But this is where we're going now, where we can tell AI what we want to do. Simple things like jump and run. So now it's done. It's done. It's finished. Let me play it now. Let's see what happens. So I press play. He's going to crawl. And when he gets there, he'll try to stand up and do whatever. Can you see? So you can do changes you want here. Something like basic like this. And if I had more time, I can fix it that he stood up, he stand up, and he starts praising or he starts walking forward. And you can combine more motions with it. I will do my examples and more focused video and send for this one. It's still a very new tool. I just got the press play. I'm still experimenting with it. But we can see the promise, be able to type whatever prompt you want and tell it, and they get what you need out of it, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to just share with you guys today. And how fast you can iterate. This is like it is now. We can make custom animation for game. And you can reduce, if you don't want those points, you can remove them and regenerate, and it will go away. So I can remove all those points and I can regenerate again, clear all constraints, and I'll generate. And that constraint added will be gone. And I don't have to deal with it again, right? So whether that is good is for things like, let's say you generated the guy holding a gun, but you want to change how the gun is being held. You can use the constraint to change how he carried the gun. Or you want somebody to run and jump. I can do something either like a run and jump or throw a spear. And it will do it perfectly. So these tools are where we're going right now, where small studios can do amazing work with all these kind of tools that help you achieve jobs faster that would have taken a long time to do. Now, it doesn't save you, like I said, you're still going to have to learn to adjust it to get what you want, right? But it has done the rough work for it. It has given you the foundation you need, right? Let me say I change it now to a person running forward with a spear. High above his head. So let's see what happens if we can get this right. So these are the things I want to share with you, and I hope that you've learned something new. If you have any questions, this one will take it before we close. I know we've gone above time. We're supposed to 7:30. We're heading to 8 o'clock, so I try to rush and be done. So please, if you have any questions, this is the best time to ask them before we
Okay,
move away.
Mr.
Yeah?
All right. Alright, so the recording started quite late, and you made mention of maybe browsing through the earlier phase, like the image generation. Can you please, in a few minutes, just touch that robot generation in particular? And also, you mentioned, I think, is it one or two sites that is it from Microsoft? I didn't get that, so
Okay, okay.
yes,
So
thank you.
first of all, yeah, can you see? I think to a person running forward with a spare high above his head. He didn't get high above his spare. He just did like basic person holding spare. You notice, you can see the person holding the spare. Now it's left for you now to go and change the position. So if I want to change that, I can change the position. Let's say I don't like this. I can just go to my constraints, right? And I can come in here and let me say somewhere here. So somewhere here like this now, I will say I want him to change his hand above, change the hand above the head. So I will do this. Anyway, I've done the hand I've gone to the back. Okay, so okay, so let's do this. So if I change this now, once I've changed this position now, when it gets to this, I want him to carry his hand above his head. I want him to move this particular one. Let's say move this one upwards. Where's the other hand? Where's the other hand? Let me see. Like this. Then I can say exit edit mode and I will regenerate. Oh, something I made a mistake. I did not lock the animation in. Sorry, let me do it again. So you don't come in edit, and I will just quickly do something simple.
While you're at this, the concerning that whole roughness map and then the metallic map.
Yeah.
I was thinking when instead you can go to like ChatGPT, or I think ChatGPT might be preferable for this. Then when you go to ChatGPT, you said the first image you sent to it is the image of maybe the side view of the image,
Okay.
whether in Blender or whatever, maybe the generated image. Then the next image, maybe the first images or whatever. Then the next image now you send will now be the image of the color map or the base color or the diffuse, basically. Now, the next thing now you do is maybe prompting ChatGPT, telling ChatGPT that you want to generate a full PBR texture for this material. Already the normal map is there, but you just want to test it out. Now, the first thing now you start with I think the current ChatGPT now, ChatGPT 5.4 or something, in thinking mode, you can generate all the maps at a stretch to maintain consistency, because I've tried this thing before, but not with characters, but with, I think, flat objects or whatever. It's perfect in that. So for characters, I'm just suggesting when you can tell it to, with the base color, with the images that are generated, and then the base color image that it has, so the map of the base color or the diffuse, basically, that you've already had, you tell it to generate for you the full PBR texture with the normal map, the roughness map, and the metallic map or whatever. I just tell it like that. Then once you send it to it, you now wait, and then it generates everything for you at a stretch. Then you can now download the 5 images, like more than, depending on whatever you want. Then the thing I notice is that after it has already generated those images for you, the next thing you do is that you ask it, what are the images that it has generated for you? Then it begins to list, okay, image 1 is this height map, image 2 is displacement map, image 3 is roughness, and all that. Is names it for you accordingly, or you can tell it to create it for you as it, and if you can rename it and then send it to you as an FBX file, so you can download it. It does that automatically for you. So then when you now take it to Blender, you can map it, or maybe use the Node Wrangler add-on to automatically remap the whole thing for you. So it generates for you the full PBR texture as it starts. It is just a test run. Then maybe after the class or whatever, you can check it out. Then if it works fine, so that you don't have to go through the process of using GIMP and all that. It's a test run, so if it works, then it's a win-win for
Okay.
everyone.
So the issue with that is that, like, I've tried it before, and then it will give you a normal map, but the normal map is not exactly what it doesn't work on the mesh. I don't, the result I get is never, it doesn't do the thing I want for it. When I do the normal map, it doesn't give me what I want. So, for example, I tried it like last week on a character before I went to modif, right? The characters did not have the difference with my modif normal map and the ChatGPT normal map was very was too much. The ChatGPT one was not accurate. But I will show you something that can be easier, that can save us a lot of stress. Let me show you that. So that one is the Comfy UI. Comfy UI, I don't know if I've had for Comfy UI. Comfy UI is like if you don't want to be going online to do all this thing like triple 3D, you don't want to pay for it, you want to do it on your system, you want to use the image to generate your 3D mesh yourself on your system. Comfy UI is that thing that can do it for you, but you have to have a very powerful GPU. You want to have at least minimum of 8 gig or 12 gig to be safe, because Comfy UI drains a lot of GPU. But let me show you Comfy UI. So let's just run it so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me close this Komodo. Let's not Komodo. Let's run Comfy UI. So I will go to Comfy UI quickly so I can leave. Because Comfy UI has a better model for me. It has a faster, it can generate everything at once for you, but it doesn't work for characters. I don't like the result I get, but let me show you what I mean. It's good for props, but it's not good for what they call it, for character. So let me run it. So run it. Now, Comfy UI is not only is it tedious on your GPU, it is very heavy to install. You must have at least, let me say 50 to 60 gig space available for Comfy UI. The models are very large. So all these models, all these triple 3D, you're seeing all the models on the server. You're downloading into your computer. Your computer is not acting on the server. Your computer must be very powerful. You must have good RAM, you must have good GPU so that you can run Comfy UI, because your system is running as the server now. Even at that, my system is very high. My GPU is 16 gig. My RAM is 34 gig, right? And it's an i9. Even at that, when I'm using Comfy UI to make my 3D model, that one on the triple 3D was like 3-5 minutes, right? On my system for Comfy UI is 13 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's my high system more. So that's where Comfy UI is very heavy. It's very heavy and it's very stressful to install. A lot of people don't understand it yet. So that's why I try to avoid talking about it. But it's the best way. As a studio, every studio that is trying to do AI workflow must have Comfy UI in there, because you cannot be paying money every time to platforms. You understand? You have to mix it with your Comfy UI, so you save yourself money. So this is Comfy UI, is running, it's come up already. It will run on that blasting dust screen, and then it's come up now. So it's coming up. And then you have all these things inside it. So look at it. I generated this model. You see the studio model I made. I generated it on my system locally. It took me 13 minutes to generate it. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can.
It generated it for me with my PVR, everything for me inside the model. This one is called, that's the trellis out there, the trellis. So you can, if you don't use triple, you don't be spending money. You can install this one on your system and be using it to generate. It's not as accurate as triple, but it's close. Because this one is not bad. What they gave me is not bad, but the polygon count is heavy, and it does not do Retopo optimized mesh. It only does dense mesh. So it's good for you to do what you can show off and go and sculpt it, but to Retopo, you have to go and Retopo yourself. So let me show you now that from just this one image, it turned it into that thing for me, and it took 13 minutes to do it for me. People will do this thing like in 5 minutes for me, right? But you have to have a powerful system. Texture is 2K, settings are there. Now, if I wanted to take the texture, that idea I gave me about texture, let me show you that idea I talked about. So it's something called Chord. Chord is a model that was given to us by Ubisoft. So that's why I keep on about AI. Big companies like Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a game company. They make games. I don't know if you know Ubisoft. They make all the big games, Assassin's Creed. They've been using this Chord to make textures in their games. And nobody knows. But now that Secret have leaked now, everybody's coming out to do, yes, people are using it. So now this is what they released one for us. I installed it for myself. It's very light. Can work on a 6 gig GPU, right? Now all I have to do is bring that one image. So let's say I go to my triple. I'll go to my texture. Like the idea is, so let's go to the texture and go to that. Yes. Characters. Go to this one. Come here. I will take this base color, right? This base color, I've taken it already. Open it here. Instead of me to go through others, I'm going through. All I have to do is just click on here. Once I bring it here, if I click on run, it will take this one image and create 4 textures. All the textures I need. It will create the base color up here. It will create metal map down here. It will create normal map. It will create roughness. It will create height map at once, right? But I realized that it doesn't work for me when I do. I don't like when it comes to character. It does not work. I don't like when I put on my character. But I'm not put on the character. Let's see. Look at it. That's giving me everything I need. Can you see? So instead of me going to ChatGPT and find that I did, I'll run it through this place and to give me all my textures, right? But like I told you, it doesn't work very well for characters. So let's take all these textures. Let's say we got all these textures now. Let's go and download them. Let me download them and say open image. Let's save. We already have this one already. Let me go and do the normal map. Save image. I'll go and do the okay, stability. Okay, stability. Normal map. I'll go and do the metallic map. It's not accurate like that. Okay. Roughness, then height map. Height map is not necessary. You don't need height map for game map. You need it for dense mesh. So let me take all these textures now. Let's go back to Blender. Let's go and open this. Open this. You have to know your texture. So this is it. So I'm going to go back to Blender and minimize this one to open Blender and open that texture. Then I'll drag the map and let's get to the shading. Let's remove all these things we did. So let's remove all this one. Oh, this one. And let me drag those ones indicated for us. I'll draw the normal map first of all. Normal map is in here, zoom in, I'll connect it. I don't know if I can say there's a difference. Let me move it. Okay. It tries. Okay, so let me see the column is on SRGB. No column. So I've done the map. Let's go and bring in the metallic map, right? So let me go in back here. Metallic map. You see, it's all black. It not show any texture patches. I mean, the whole body will be black. The whole body will be metallic. Metallic. Okay. Then let me go and bring the roughness map. Now, if you look at it now, see what it did. Can you see? It's making the whole body shine. It's not accurate to a level. I can't control it. So I realized that you can get it with a normal map. But you see the roughness and the metallic map, you have to manually create it. I went through a lot of experience before I found out that pattern of making that map. So for some reason, it does not, if you don't create it like that, it does not give you they can't generate the detailed one. The only two places I've gotten my normal map and my metallic auto map properly is when I use Modif or when I use manual way for Blender like baking. Let's say, for example, now, if we came here, let me off configure, I concentrate a lot of GPU. So this is the trellis. If you want to do a model local, you want to be using a 3.3, you want to spend on a triple. You can install trellis. We can go through this kind of installation class to fix on our data, and I'll show you how to install. But you have to have crazy internet. It takes a lot of internet, and you have to have a powerful GPU and a good RAM. So that's why, as much as it is free, the trade-off is you have to have a good system. But the result is not bad. The result is really good. I use it for some things, and it's worked well for me, right? So let me close this one, and then I can do texture in there too. I can do image there. Then the old way we used to do, let me say, let's hide this one now. Let's do this. Let's do this last one before we go. Since we already was second, let's just go to time properly. So if I said, yes, I came here now, and I wanted before AI, before Modif and the rest, right? The best way to have done this would have been, manual way would have been, if I take this character right now, I will duplicate this Shift D, and I will enter and move this on to the left. And I'll call this one low poly. and name this other one high poly. Right? Now, I have to decimate this thing. I have to make some, I have to reduce the polygon count. The way to reduce the polygon count, this one is there's so many software, there's Retopo Flow, there's so many software, there's QRemeshify, there's QRemesher. This QRemesher is not free. QRemeshify is free. I don't like QRemeshify's solution. I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense. The best one I have seen is the QRemesher. QRemesher is a lot more stable. Look at it. This is the best word count I have seen that works for very well. Just click, select the one you want to, this one like this now, and then we'll click on remesh, and you wait for it at the bottom of the screen. If you start doing the job, you can see down here to appear percentage, you see a percentage, you start counting, and it will optimize the mesh to a decent amount of polygon. At least reduce it to like maybe half or 1/4, right? Only issue that once you do it now, your texture will be deleted. You now have to now go and start baking texture from high poly to low poly. You understand? Those are the only way out. The ChatGPT has not become smart enough to just give you your 4 textures. Even Ubisoft software that they gave us they were using is not getting it right. So ChatGPT cannot get it right. And I've tried it before. Trust me, I didn't like the result. The same thing Ubisoft gave me, the same thing it gave me. So it can give you normal map, but when it comes to metal and roughness, reflection that's accurate on your character, you might need to manually do that thing I did to control exactly where and where should reflect and where should not reflect. Right? So, yeah. Well, let's just this one finish so you see result, then we can end the class. I'm sorry we have taken more time. Hello, Bess.
Mr. Ucho, you did not answer my own question.
Your own question, I'll answer. Your own question is very simple. I'll show you what I talk about. Just the image reference, the image generation thing, just simple. I'll explain it again. It's not. So this one will take a while. When it gets here, I don't know, it takes a while when it gets to 75%. Anyways, you can cancel it or let it finish. But once it finishes, what it does is that to just make a low poly version of this your asset, and then that's the one you can start baking textures into. I think I talked about it last class. We used it last class, so maybe out our last video, you see the result. But this is the old way it was done, and this is there's still a lot of old school things you still need to do. AI cannot do everything yet for us. That's why I say I manually have to go to Photopea or Photoshop to create the metallic and the roughness now. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Okay, so for the texture generation, what I did texture generation was very straightforward. All we did was we started with an image we generated, right? From ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives us an image, a poster, and we extracted the robot from that poster, right? So let's say I went here and I get the poster, come here, take the poster, download. So the poster, original poster we got, no, not this one, this one, yes. And in that poster now, I wanted the robot. Old school would have been doing Photoshop, but now for this place, I have to just come to Gemini and say, give me just the robot and enter. And it will go through and give me just take away pictures and give me just the robot. So that's how I got the robot. And then I now went ahead to break it into different parts. So let me show you the result of those different parts because I wanted to render them as parts. So if I open here, I ended up trying to give me the right view, front view, side view, top view that I used to generate the robot. Not only that, I wanted to generate different parts so I would get more quality. And I told you to give me just the chest alone, the front view, the leg alone, the hand alone, all these things. I wanted to alone so that I can generate them on their own and then maybe rig them properly so I can animate them if I want to animate them properly. So the next stage for advanced mesh generation is that you have to generate those meshes individually and put them together in Blender. That way you're going to get the best quality because you can paint in individual parts and you can animate individual parts and rig it, So that's the, and I use you have to do it Nano Banana. Without Nano Banana, you can't do this. So when you go to your Nano Banana And you tell it, look at it, give me just the robot, to give you just the robot. If I say give me just the leg, to give you just the leg. If I say give me the back of this robot, to turn the robot behind and show me the back. So this is where now 3D artists now have the advantage to use AI to start generating. Without this, all we have is front view, and we don't have an idea what the back view is. Right? And that way your results will be inconsistent. Then that your client says, please, I want you to regenerate again and change the back. You'll just be hoping on AI to give you results you cannot bank on. So that is why Nano Banner is very crucial for you to use to give you, extract all the different views. In short, you can even say, you know what, remove the gun, give me the robots without the gun. Then you cannot generate the gun separately, generate the robot separately, so you can put the gun on the robot's hand separately. All those things are possible with Nano Banana. Everything we've done today is just the basics. And you cannot use that to now start doing high-level work in case you want to use it for game or for animation. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So I'll be ending the class here, so you can finish up. But thank you all for spending time with me. It wasn't easy. It's gone above time. I will upload the video as soon as I can, and then I will also kind of like do like a, how do I put it, like a run through of highlights, so that you don't have to watch. If you don't want to watch the long video, I'll do like a chop highlight, so that you can just really watch and get the gist of the video, and not spend too much time watching this whole long video. But if you want to get
those Microsoft sites you mentioned earlier.
So it's not a Microsoft site, it's a Microsoft model. That's Trellis. You have to install it in Comfy UI. That's what I showed you. That's really model. You have to install it in Comfy UI, and you have to have a good GPU to use it. So that one is a different topic. To install Comfy UI and start installing Comfy UI. Listen, if you guys want us to do that, you can vote in the group, and we'll do a Comfy UI class separately. So I'll show you how to install Comfy UI. But please, you must have a good computer before you come for that class, okay? So anyways, thank you guys. I will do my best to upload the video as soon as I can once I finish compiling, because this video is heavy. So I'll see you soon, okay? WhatsApp group, okay. WhatsApp group. I will send the WhatsApp group to, hold on, let me send the WhatsApp group to you can hold on, let me do it here while we still here. First, stop sharing and then open the WhatsApp. In the WhatsApp group. We have to have conversations almost most of the end of the month. But if you also are in the group, we can have more conversations about this kind of stuff that can help the workflow. I'm really here to talk about it already. So thank you very much. Where's this WhatsApp group now? WhatsApp group, where are you hiding? Technical arts. Okay, I think this is it. Yes. Let me go to hold on, please. Trying to get the link for the group. I'll put in the chat now. Finding it. We have seen it. So why is it taking time? Okay, I've seen it. Sorry. Okay, I found the link. Let me share it with you guys. Oh my God. Chats. So I've posted the WhatsApp group in the chat, please. If you want to click and join, please. And so you can join the WhatsApp group, and then we can keep sharing the video links in that place when the video is compiled or shared up. And if you have any questions, please, you can follow up in the WhatsApp group so we can discuss more about it. Thank you all for being good sport. People tried and stayed with me till 8 o'clock. I'll do my best to keep the time next time. And then if there's no questions, we can end the video now. Thank you very much. And see you guys soon. Once the video is ready, I'll share with you guys. Thank you. Bye.